Welcome, my name is Dorian Kyles and I will be presenting information on extrusive igneous rocks. The first question is, how are igneous rocks formed? Igneous rocks are formed when hot molten rock crystallizes and solidifies. There are three main types of rock: sedimentary, igneous, and metamorphic. Let's talk a bit about extrusive igneous rocks. What does extrusive mean? Relating to or formed by geologic extrusion from the earth in a molten state or as volcanic ash. Specifically, extrusive igneous rocks are formed on the surface of the earth from lava, which emerges from underneath. The melt begins deep within the earth near active plate boundaries, also called hotspots. Then it rises towards the surface. Where can these extrusive igneous rocks be found? A dormant volcano region is where one can be found due to the eruption of magma to the Earth's surface, later solidifying into these rocks. Let's talk about some characteristics of igneous rocks. They do not include mineral deposits. Most igneous forms include more than one mineral deposit, and it cools rapidly with very little crystal growth found within the margins of rhyolithic lava. They can either be glassy or coarse and usually don't react with acids. They are also distinguishable by texture and mineral composition. Magma, called lava, when molten rock erupts on the surface, cools and solidifies almost instantly when it's exposed to the relatively cool temperature of the atmosphere. Igneous rocks are classified according to their mineral composition as felsic, intermediate, mafic, and ultramafic. What are some characteristics of igneous rocks? They do not include mineral deposits. Most igneous forms include more than one mineral deposit. It cools rapidly with very little crystal growth found within the margins of rhyolithic lava. They can either be glassy or coarse and usually don't react with acids. The cooling rate for a few rocks is so quick that they form an amorphous glass. It's distinguishable by texture and mineral composition. Magma, called lava, when molten rock erupts on the surface, cools and solidifies almost instantly when exposed to the relatively cool temperature of the atmosphere. Igneous rocks are classified according to their mineral composition as felsic, intermediate, mafic, and ultramafic. What are some examples of extrusive igneous rocks? The volatile components contained in magma are released as free gas. It may cool with large or small vesicles such as pumice, scoria, or vesicular basalt. Other examples include rhyolite, tuff, andesite, and more. What is the structure of extrusive igneous rocks? The most common igneous rock is basalt. Basalt forms lava sheets, lava flows, and lava plateaus. It is especially common below the oceans. It forms extrusive volcanic igneous rocks above the surface. Extrusive rocks are more fine-grained, microscopic crystals or glass texture. Here are a few visual examples of extrusive igneous rocks. The first example is the basalt rock, which is the most common of the extrusive igneous rocks. As you can see, it's dark colored, it's ultramafic. The minerals inside are olivine and the texture is amphinetic. The next rock we have is rhyolite, which has a very high silica content, usually pink or gray in color, with grains so small that you can't observe it without a hand lens. The next rock we have is scoria, which is highly vesicular. It's a dark color volcanic rock that does not contain crystals, I don't know if you can see it, but as you can see, and it has a composition of basaltic and andesitic. And last, we have the obsidian rock, which is, as you can see, dark colored. It's definitely ultramafic. It's naturally glass formed as an extrusive igneous rock produced when felsic lava extrudes from a volcano. And there you go. And those are just a few examples of the extrusive igneous rock. I do have an igneous rock chart. It shows the igneous rock cycle. Here you have a visual chart showing the weathering, transportation, deposition, the settlements, the whole process of the magma, how the igneous rocks are and the extrusive rocks are formed. Intrusive rocks are formed underneath the surface. The extrusive rocks form above the surface. They extrude out of the surface, the Earth's. Here's also an example of just a few of the extrusive igneous rocks. Also intrusive, but today we're speaking on extrusive. So the bottom here, you have rhyolite, andesite, basalt, and comatite. And those were just a few examples of extrusive igneous rocks. Just to recap, extrusive igneous rocks are formed when molten hot material cools and solidifies. And that concludes this presentation on extrusive igneous rocks. Thank you.